Welcome, everyone. I am Rudy Dewala from Unconditional Man, and this is a short introduction video to introduce a new course that I have been designing together with the lovely Abigail Calzado, and which is about actually bringing men and women and non-binary game changers or change makers together, entrepreneurs, business leaders and also people who are working in the coaching and facilitating industry. And we start on June 3rd, and we do a webinar on May 27th on 7:30 at 7:30 p.m. CET and 1:30 p.m. EST. So, yeah, before we go any further, perhaps Abigail, tell a bit maybe about yourself.
Sure, thank you, Rudy. So, like Rudy said, I'm Abigail. I'm based in Ottawa, Canada. I'm a leadership and well-being coach. And what else can I say about me? I teach yoga, mindfulness. I do a lot of integrative trauma-informed work, and I work mainly with women from the global majority. Why? Because there's lots of us, lots of things to unpack there for us. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I have many years of experience doing this type of work. But I guess you'll just know when you work with me.
Yeah, actually, we are both, I think we are both people who, believe in flow. And we met a couple of weeks ago as Abigail is doing a lot of work with women and I do a lot of work with men. And then the obvious question is always like, why do, women have to do circles separately and men separately, and that each has a reason. And then, I think for men, it's mainly that, they just need to learn to trust other men first, yeah, and to learn to express themselves fully, from their own truth in a shared space with men. And then, the next level is basically how they can express themselves from that space of truth, also in the company of women. So then we basically, that's why we do the mixed circles. I have been doing quite some man circles, also mixed circles, and non-binary people, you are welcome as well, but I think it's mainly also like to find that space where we can literally connect to ourselves, slow down and really listen to like what is really talking within to us, because that is actually our voice of the presence, and it's our voice for the future that is guiding us. It's not the outside world and social media and all this, addictive, interruptions that we get from social media, but it's going to be the place where we can be with ourselves and in community with others. But Abigail, I'll be happy also to hear like about your experience with women and how do they resonate to, meeting men then, from that let's say space from more authenticity or
Mhm. Yeah, I'm excited to do this mixed circle with you, Rudy. I think there's a need for this kind of space. We're living through a time that stretch us and stretch us in polarities, the masculine, feminine. And what's happening is, I love the metaphor of dance. The idea is this dance of feminine and masculine. And what's happening in our world right now is this, there's toxic masculinity, and then there's this femininity that's gets trampled on because it becomes a competition. We think that masculine is about taking up space, about dominance, and we think feminine is about softer, almost becoming invisible. Um, so it's yeah, there's a disconnect that happens. So I think this space got kind of interesting and exciting for change makers, for leaders who work with different energies and their teams. And it's also for those who are constantly holding space for others, but also need to be held, to be heard, to be seen by others who are experiencing similar things. Who are also wanting to reconnect with their clarity. They've been in constant movement, they're the doers, but they also have dreams that they need to and want to connect with. So during this time together, I think we will have the opportunity to just come back to the body, to pause, to remember who we are and honor who we're becoming together in this mixed space of masculine, feminine.
Yeah, you touch on a very sensitive point there, toxic masculinity. I don't like that word too much, but it's obvious that we are, living in a world which has, as I would say, a huge shadow of like, unresolved emotional issues, like especially on the masculine, because on the masculine side, what we see a lot is that, men haven't been really able to or have never learned to basically express, difficult emotions and struggles in their intimate relationships, or, we have been learning to carry the weight alone and not asking for help. And, all this contributes basically to what we call, I would say immature or a wounded masculine. Yeah, not to use a toxic, because I also see that there's toxic masculinity with the feminine, or with women, and toxic feminine also with men. So, and I think that is going to be the interesting part also in this journey, how to become aware of one's own energies, like it's not to put, or label certain emotions or feelings like as feminine or masculine, but it's more like to become aware of like where there can be a wounded part or a part that has not been taken care of, that you carry with you subconsciously and is actually taking the decisions for you while you're running your professional life, and then becoming aware of that and learning to work with that becomes your strength also, and your alignment for the future, where you can actually align your mind and body and heart and soul also, which is key for the future. So I'm looking forward also to explore this, in a very open, space. And I would say, a safe space also, but also a brave space where we can name things that have to be named. Because I think that a lot of men, I know from men, I know also women, are confused, with what is happening in the world, because like we need to learn again to, what is it to have human values and what is our humanity that we want to carry forward, to future generations, our children and all that. So what are we role modeling, or not, So, um, Abigail, what do you have to say on this?
Yeah, I got your brave space, and I love that. And I think we need more brave space where we can be safe, where we can feel supported, and have authentic conversation that really involves our wholeness. And it will be so. I'm really excited to offer this space and to co-create this with the participants, because essentially this is, even though we have our structure and flow for this journey, it's essentially a co-created space that all of us will will allow to unfold together based on the conversations and the questions that will arise based on the co-created inquiry that we will participate in. It will be our own space, a brave but supportive space where we can name and also name and notice. And I think last time we talked about emotions, and I try to avoid emotions because I love going back to the body, to the felt sense, because there's so much information there. So I would love to offer some, during our journey together, some somatic and embodiment practices. When we can come back to the body is our home. I always say my body is my home. And this will be an opportunity for all of us to come home to ourselves, to reconnect with our body and integrate the mind, body, heart, and soul, and show up fully to what we do and to people that we care for.
Yeah, I love that, of like how can we learn to connect to our wholeness, because that is actually what it is. And often emotions are understood as, negative or, dramatic or whatever, but they are just part of us, So if we can just learn to embrace that and work with that. So, um, yeah, for whoever who is interested basically in seeking clarity, in their professional life or relationships or next chapter, and want to reconnect with their natural vitality and inner power, who are curious about emotional intelligence, conscious communication, and embodied leadership, I would say, join this journey. Yeah, it's a 6 week experiential learning journey, and we start on June the 3rd. And there is an information session on May 27th. Yeah, a free info webinar that we will organize. You will see that in the link below. So, yeah, each session is going to integrate or it's going to include some embodied practices, dialogue, reflection, creative expression, co-created inquiries, and especially, I think, very important also that we work with the emergence of what is living in the group, what is emerging from the group. We have our little structure, but we like to work with actually what is, being present and what is emerging from the group. Yeah. Abigail, you want to say a last word on this?
No, I'm just looking forward to meeting all of you. I hope you participate. And any questions, I'm available. Just send me a DM, and I'm always happy to answer any questions. And I guess Rudy as well is available. So between now and May 27th, send us a message, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I hope to see you.
Perfect. Oh, sorry, I cut you there.
It's okay.
Well, perfect. Anyway, I'll cut that. So yeah, we'll see
Okay.
each other. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna
Okay.
stop the recording.